So, Guitar Show Italy. I'm here with Frank from Tieftoner.
Yes,
Tieftoner means low tone man. So you're coming primarily from the bass world.
Yeah, originally I'm a bass player and I built bass cabinets because I always had this issue that I could not hear myself when playing very well. Because if you're standing close to the cabinet and in small clubs you don't hear the high frequency very well. So my idea was to put a speaker in the top of the cabinet, and so all the problems disappear.
Well, it makes a lot of sense for the bass player who stands in the back and is resting next to the cab, and it's a concept that I've seen, and it makes a lot of sense. Let's look at this trade show, for example, okay? There's amps blasting from everywhere. Why are they blasting? Well, because they don't have a rule, angle the amp. So let's look over here, for example. There's this amp, and people sitting right next to it like so, and what they're hearing is nothing because their ass doesn't have ears, because it's blasting to your ass. If this was angled, I would hear it, and I wouldn't have to crank the volume. So this is a dumb idea at a trade show. Everyone does it, okay? Everyone at the trade show here does exactly that. Look at this amp right there. It is not angled, it is going. I'm sitting here playing it, and it's freaking blasting my ass, and I can't hear it. So what do? They go and crank the shit out of them, so that the person over here is getting the full beam over here and freaking just loses their mind. And then this one is blasting the people over there. But the person playing can't hear themselves. It is dumb. So, nowadays at a trade show, I'm sorry, this is a very personal thing because I gotta fucking scream and I'm losing my voice. So at a trade show, why the fuck don't they say, please angle your combo, and when you're angling it, you're getting it up here? Or why don't they use, two notes captor or something, headphones if possible? Of course, if you're selling amps, it doesn't work, but please make sure you are going directly at the guitar player's ears. Now, Frank has a solution for that, for the trade show guy that doesn't want to be an ass, or especially for, I think, the guitar player who's the sideman in the band. If you're running around on stage, you're in front of your cab. So we got the Tieftoner cab right here, and I'm running around here, and I can... Over here, Scott! Thank you! So I'm running around here, I can hear myself, and it's all good. But if I'm the sideman, and I've got the really awesome, super mega pretty vocalist on stage, and I'm hired to be the side guy, I'm probably standing where Frank is standing, right here, playing, or maybe even here. Well, if I'm standing right here, my ears are not on my ankles. They are not. They're also not on my ass. My ears are up here. And electric guitar is very directional, or the frequencies of the electric guitar are directional. So it would make a lot of sense if I'm actually pointing it at my ears, which Frank is doing, because in here, and there's not a cone directly behind this. There's actually a metal grill, right?
Yes.
With a fabric mesh on top of it. So I could sit on this. I can sit on it, not a problem.
Yeah, what is also important thing, it's waterproof, so you can put your beer on it, which is not possible if you angle your cab.
Waterproof, he said. Should we try this? No, it's okay, it's okay. But you can do this. You can't even open it, wait. And put it on there. Don't pour it out, but if something happens, it's okay.
It's okay, no problem.
Smart man. Don't pee on it, don't do that. So, I mean, you could, but it's your cab, okay? But the idea is, there's a 112 in here, Celestian Creamback.
Creamback Neo, yes.
Creamback Neo, so it's lighter. And of course, the one in front for the audience or for miking. But the most important thing, you're standing here and you're actually hearing yourself. My legs and knees don't need ears, my ass doesn't need ears. My ears are right here and I can hear myself. It's a brilliant concept. It's not necessarily for the, I run around on the front stage, I'm the center of the show guitar player, but for the jazz, blues, funk guy, for the top 40 guy, for the hired gun guy that stands in the back.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have the possibility to, in smaller venues, you don't have the possibility to stand right in front of your cabinet because it's so narrow. So you have to stand.
Well, if I'm standing here, the stage ends right there. Then what am I going to do?
But then the sound is always the same, no matter where you stand. If you're standing behind or besides or in front of the cab or 2 meters in front of the cab, you always have the same sound.
How about this? How about I play, and you are the movable mic guy?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay. That's absolutely fascinating because right here I'm hearing the full exactly what I want to hear from guitar. To get the effect that I have here, it's not enough to stand here. That's where you would be standing and where you would be thinking, oh, it sounds good. No, it doesn't. To get the same effect audibly as standing next to it, I have to be over here. I have to be about 3 to 4 meters away from the cab to get the full top end. In what club do you have the ability to stand that far away to really hear your amp? So what's happening? You're cranking it up. You know exactly what happens. You're cranking it up. But let's not talk about live, Frank. Let's talk practice room. What happens in the practice room?
Usually in a practice room, you don't have, it's somewhere your cabinet standing in the corner, or you don't have any space to step in front of the cabinet. You're standing really next to the cab.
Usually what guitar players do, and here's a tip for you guys that can't afford something like this. I'm standing in front of my guitar. The other guitar player stands in front of his guitar. They don't hear themselves. What happens? They make themselves louder. So the best idea actually in a practice room is have your cab where he's standing and his cab where you're standing, and you will all turn yourself down. If you can't do that, just even for the practice room, this is fucking gold, because you will not crank up the volume, because you can absolutely hear yourself. This is, I'm gonna say this, it's a simple concept, but it's fucking brilliant.
Yes, I also sometimes am experienced when I'm visiting bands. I'm standing in the audience and think the guitar sound is not really nice. And if I'm going next to the stage, I hear that the monitor, the amp on the stage is so loud that there's no guitar anymore from the PA. So you avoid this because you have the possibility to turn your volume very low using my cabinet.
I can't hear myself usually results in make me louder instead of let's change position of the cab and so on. So it is amazing. Now this thing, it sounds good. Let me lift it for a second. Okay, that's a joke. It looks massive and super heavy, but it really isn't. The only thing that I would say for you to sell this to more guitar players is it now looks and has the aesthetics of a high-end bass cab. Guitar players like them to look like their Fender, like maybe like with a tweed Tolex. It looks too industrial for the guitar player. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure. Right? Well, I usually, when I started with bass cabinets and built them with black cloth, which is a little bit more stable. But I thought this is more or less the second revision, which is a little bit more industrial, as you say, because many of these lunch bag tops are with a steel case like this Eugene Kettner, and this was the reason why I said let's make this this outlook and this surface. But of course, there's no problem to have any other preferred surface.
Just to make it look a little bit more traditional or something.
Also the speakers, as I said, it's Greenback Neo, but I know that guitar players are very special regarding their preferred speakers, so it's no problem because they're all hand built, and so I can use any speaker my customer wants.
I am convinced because I stood next to it and was, okay, that's where my sound is. And then I have to step 4 meters away to get the similar result in my ear, which you can probably never do in most circumstances. Now, it is, of course, because it is technically a 212, okay? It is not as inexpensive as a 112 because it's a 212, and it's a hand-built German product, so this is clocking in at barely under 1,000, 999, okay? That's what you pay. You've paid more for other cabs. I know you have. This absolutely solves a serious problem because why buy your boutique cab from who knows who and then stand right next to it and not hear it? What's the point? You spend all the money and you're not actually experiencing the full sound. The only thing that we can do is, and I already talked to Frank about this, get it in the studio, use my binaural ears to record in different positions so you can really experience it with me in the room, or meet him at a trade show and actually experience it for yourself, because I'm pretty sure you're going to put in an order as soon as you've had that experience that I just had.
I hope so. And you have the chance to meet me at the Mannheim Guitar Summit, of course. Come there, check it out. If you're a bass player, come also. I have, as this was my start, I have various versions of the bass cabinets. Come and visit me. Try to find out if what Henning says is the truth or if it's just a joke.
It's fully true. Experience it yourself. I'll put links below to Tiefto. Thanks, Frank. It was fun. And we're going to put Animals at the end.